Hey there, guys. All right, today we are we're back with week 49 of World War II, August 3rd, 1940. The hippo versus the bulldog. The Battle of Britain heats up. I have no clue who the hippo is. I know Churchill's the bulldog, but I have never heard the hippo. So is that supposed to be Goering? I don't know. He's kind of like a hippo. He's big. That's all I've got. Let's go ahead and dive in and get an answer, I guess. I hope we get an answer. We should get an answer. Anyways.
Look, all I know is I got to Downing Street and nobody knew nothing about no pizza. It was like a
Are we in New York?
fake phone call or something. Who does that? Hey.
No, that's New York, New Jersey. Kind of a mix of the two, I feel like. Maybe more New Jersey. I'm not sure. Ooh. Don't spend enough time around the New York or New Jersey accent. But I knew it was one of those.
August 3rd, 1940. The past few weeks, German planes have been attacking the British in the English Channel, but this week, Adolf Hitler issues orders that will take the fight to the mainland.
Not yay. Boo. Not yippee. War bad.
I'm Indy Nidell. This is World War II. Last week, the Baltic states, with new pro-Soviet governments installed, requested to join the USSR. Hitler told his generals once again that they would attack the USSR in 1941, but the current battle was against the British in the skies over the English Channel. Japan got a new pro-expansion government, and the US made deals to send more war material to Britain and fewer raw materials to Japan. Hitler may secretly be plotting to attack the USSR, but not publicly. And from the other side, on the first in the Supreme Soviet, Soviet Foreign Minister Vyacheslav Molotov reaffirms the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact between Germany and the USSR.
Oh,
The next day, the USSR annexes Bessarabia and North Bukovina, and they are mostly incorporated into the new Moldavian SSR. On the 3rd, they formally annex Lithuania, Latvia the 5th, and Estonia the 6th. In Western Europe, though, the prelude to Germany's hopeful annexation of Britain is in full swing. This is really the prelude to the prelude, the Kanalkampf, the battle for the English Channel. On the 28th, Britain withdraws all destroyers from Dover to Portsmouth. This is a significant achievement for the Luftwaffe, implying that they may be able to dominate the Channel Narrows during the hours of daylight.
Oh.
The next day, the whole eastern half of the channel is now out of bounds to British destroyers in daytime. They do keep up the minesweeping, though, so that they can gain access if they want to or need to. In aerial operations, the 25th to 29th, Britain loses 18 planes, Germany 52.
Ooh, that's not good for Germany.
And at the end of July, British fighter plane output for the month is 50% above the target. 1,200 have been produced since May the 1st. This is more than Germany has built, and the gap is closing. Now on the 29th, Kriegsmarine headquarters tells Hitler that a landing in Britain is not possible until the second half of September. And even then, the German Navy will not be able to support such a landing against a British naval counterattack. Admiral Otto Schneewind, German Naval Chief of Staff, says he won't accept responsibility for such an attack the rest of the year. On August 1st, Hitler sets September 15th for the date that preparations for Operation Sea Lion, the invasion of Britain,
I didn't think it got this far into planning. I didn't know they had actually picked a day. I thought it was very much entirely a conceptual thing that never saw much progress. That's wild. That's wild. What the? They actually thought they could do it? What the hell?
must be complete to take place between the 19th and 26th. He emphasizes that without air superiority, there can be no landings. But the first wave of landings must be completed before the worsening autumn weather makes it impossible for the Luftwaffe to provide air cover. That day, Luftwaffe Commander Hermann Goering says to his generals, "The Fuhrer has ordered me to crush Britain with my Luftwaffe. By means of hard blows, I plan to have this enemy, who has already suffered a crushing moral defeat, down on his knees in the nearest future, so that an occupation of the island by our troops can proceed without any risk."
Goering. What's wild is that Goering ends up like, what? Doesn't he actually end up talking circles or something around um at at uh at Nuremberg after the war? But how is he so stupid here? Like, what is he doing?
But his commanders, Kesselring, Milch, and Sperle, can see some big problems with this. Milch is Air Inspector General and in charge of aircraft production. Kesselring and Sperle command Luftflotte 2 and 3 respectively. There is the fact that their operational airfields are new to them and are in captured French and Belgian territory, so all supply and repair systems have to be either built or adjusted to their needs from what's at hand, while the British have home bases they've been using for decades. The British are also going to save a lot of fuel compared to the Germans by fighting over their own territory. The Germans have to fly at least dozens of miles, if not hundreds, to engage the British. The British just have to take off. Of course, a damaged British plane can either land on or the pilot can bail out over friendly territory. German pilots and planes will likely be lost for good. Theo Osterkamp, a flying ace already back in World War I, has reservations as well. I explained to him that during the time that I was alone in combat over England with my wing, I counted about 500 to 700 British fighters concentrated in the area around London. Their numbers had increased considerably since the beginning of the battle. All new units were equipped with Spitfires, which I considered a quality equal to our own fighters. Goering dismisses any concerns his staff has, claiming that not only are the British numbers depleted, but that the British are cowards anyhow.
Oh my God, Goering.
And the superiority of the German bombers renders the British defenses meaningless anyhow. Britain's defenses, though, as I've talked about before, include coastal radar, 50 stations running all the way from Land's End to the Orkney Islands. Germany has coastal radar too by this time, not as good as the British, but the main problem is it's no help at all for attacking. This is a pretty big advantage for the British. The British also have the doubting system I talked about the other week and have fighter commands separated into 4 groups, 10, 11, 12, and 13, which are Southwestern, Southeastern, Midlands, and Northern respectively, which are under overall control from Uxbridge. 11 is likely to be the one that sees the most action, since it's nearest to France and also the one that protects London, but can be reinforced by the others. And there is yet another British advantage: production. By now, 500 Spitfires and Hurricanes are coming off the line monthly. Messerschmitt is producing only a third of this with their Me-109s and Me-110s for Germany. Germany does have the trained pilot advantage, and a pretty heavy one. Some 10,000 pilots in 1939 to the British 1450.
Oh,
the British can add
damn. Not even close. Holy shit.
maybe 50 a week to that figure. So they have the paradox of always having enough planes, but not always having enough pilots. They do, however, have over 8,000 Polish overall Air Force personnel, the largest foreign group the Allies have in Britain, and they have combat experience.
The Polish are gonna. Okay, Poland. I see you.
These are brought into the RAF Volunteer Reserve and show off their skill, not to mention their dedication. They had been overwhelmed by the numerical and technical superiority of the German air fleets. That bitter experience, to say nothing of the dreadful treatment of their country by Hitler and Stalin, had created a burning desire for revenge now that they had modern fighters. Back on July 1st, the first Polish bomber squadron in the RAF was formed, Squadron 300. On the 13th, Squadron 301, the second Polish bomber squadron was formed. On the 22nd came Squadron 302, a fighter squadron. And this week on the 2nd comes Squadron 303, another fighter squadron. The fighters are flying Hurricanes. These squadrons are soon to be organized into the Polish Air Force under Royal Air Force overall command. The first phase of the Battle of Britain, the Kanalkampf, the Channel Battle, pretty much ends this week. Germany has sunk some shipping and done some structural damage, but think, the Royal Navy, which has to be beaten before any invasion force can cross, is untouched. Since July 10th, Britain has shot down around 100 German bombers and around 80 fighters at a loss of 70 or so of their own fighters. So the fighter exchange is more or less equal.
Ooh.
Hitler is not happy with the situation. He had
Could just end the sentence at Hitler is not happy. I don't think he's ever been happy.
believed the British were already pretty much beaten from the get-go. On August 1st, he issues Directive Number 17, which orders the Luftwaffe to overpower the English air forces with all the forces at its command in the shortest possible time. So the focus will move from the Channel to the new objectives for Operation Adler, Eagle, primarily against flying units, their ground installations and their supply organizations, but also against the aircraft industry, including that manufacturing anti-aircraft equipment. Hitler sets Adlertag, Eagle Day, the kickoff for Operation Eagle for August 7th. There is a fair amount of action at sea this week as well. On July 28th, the German auxiliary cruiser Thor takes on the British merchant cruiser Alcantara in the South Atlantic. Alcantara is forced to break off and make for Rio. On August 1st, the Italian Navy establishes Beta Somme, its submarine base at Bordeaux. It has dry docks and can house up to 30 submarines. July 31st through August 4th are the dates of Operation Hurry. Malta, a British colony, has been under siege since Italy joined the war in early June, and this operation is to bring 12 Hurricane planes aboard the aircraft carrier Argus to Malta to beef up defenses. Force H leaves Gibraltar and is attacked the first by Italian aircraft, but repels them, then launches a distraction attack by air on Cagliari the second. Operation Hurry is a success. And the week ends with action at sea in the Channel, the Mediterranean, and the South Atlantic, the Soviet Union expanding in Eastern Europe, and Hitler's plans for Britain becoming more concrete. Or are they? I mean, the plans for the Luftwaffe. They are fairly nebulous at the moment. I mean, overpower the English Air Force is a fairly simple order,
but they do have a date. That's the thing, though. They have a date.
What is the plan to actually execute it? Goering has supreme confidence in his men and machines, but does he have any strategy? Germany had a detailed and precise strategy in France and in Poland. But here, it seems so far to be just improvisation against the enemy. This enemy is growing in strength faster than the Germans are.
Dun dun dun.
To learn more about aviation from...
And that was week 49 of World War II, August 3rd, 1940. The Hippo versus the Bulldog. So no, we were not told who the Hippo was. That's a shame. The Battle of Britain heats up. There really wasn't anything... I mean, I guess we could talk a little bit about Sea Lion, but like, that's still more to come. So this was just one of those weeks where things are happening, but they aren't really anything to discuss. They're just like, yeah, that happened. Nothing else to really say about it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.